Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our 38th episode of the BBC. We're going to be discussing domain and settlement selection tonight. We're super excited because today it's all about Bordweall. Today is our day, right? So all eyes are on us today. We've got D on the phone with us. We got Renegade here. And we're going to be talking some of the stuff that you guys are super excited about, which is domain and settlement selection. D, how you doing? We still got audio on you?
I believe that you do, sir.
Good deal, good deal. Renegade, how are you doing over there?
I'm okay. Yourself?
Oh, stressed. I'm stressed out. I can't believe we got here, right? So
Surprise, surprise.
yes, it's been a long time coming. A lot of us have been in this community for years now, waiting for the day that it becomes real. And I think today is the day that it becomes real for a lot of us. D, I've heard some rumors, and I know you haven't selected yet, but I've heard some pretty gross rumors, and I wanted to go over a few of those with you. I heard that you might be picking Kingdom number 7 because no one would be expecting that. And I also heard that you were going to be picking Kingdom number 3 so that you could invade Fortuna from the north, like the winter is coming and all that good stuff. All these Game of Thrones fans out there lately, I don't know. But I've heard some crazy stories out there.
Yeah, you're wrong on all counts. You're wrong on all counts.
Yeah.
We're picking the ocean.
We're in the ocean. Oh, good.
We're picking the ocean. We figure it's the biggest area left on the map, so we're picking the ocean.
I was not aware the ocean was an option, but I'm glad.
Did you bring your flippers?
Bring your flippers?
Yeah, your flippers, your paddles.
No, but I heard you had some nice slippers on tonight. Did you want to share those with us?
I don't want to share my slippers. I'd fall out of my chair.
Come on, lift your slippers up.
You were bragging about the slippers. We need this.
No.
Are they?
No,
like
I'm not.
flipper
That's
slippers?
weird. I'm not showing my shoes. That's
So
weird.
I think Brunel's going to be super excited that you're picking in the ocean, D. If no one else is. So
yeah, no kidding. No, we had we've had chats between all of the monarchs on NA East over basically, it started primarily with map voting is when the talks kind of like became a little bit more serious, and we've kind of like we've gone back and forth on who's going to pick where, and we've pretty much all agreed. I don't know if you have a map up there or not, but most people are familiar with the map. Adam has already picked Kingdoms 1 and 2, which is something that he had said that he would do. We have agreed that Alicia would pick Kingdom 3. Fortuna would pick Kingdom 4. Bordweall would pick Kingdom 5, and Kairos would be picking Kingdom 6. And we pretty much had the agreement that if anybody kind of like picked out of order, they were basically being a dick, and it would be open season on them, because we were all in at least somewhat agreement that that's where we would go. I think the only people in the game, rightfully so, Adam had, has the double kingdom and had the most IP. And, it's no secret that the majority of players, period, want to play in either Kingdom 1 or Kingdom 2. And so what we look at then is, if that's gone, we just have to look at the reality of it and see what the map looks like, and where is the best position for Bordweall to be, to try and at least stay somewhat competitive in the game. We don't want to dominate the continent or anything like that, but we want to be able to not just survive, but also to thrive. And we think that, and my pick should actually be showing, or at least that it's available to pick. I should get an email about it in about 5 minutes' time. which is when our window for selection opens up. And it shouldn't be any surprise to anybody else on NA East that we will obviously be confirming that we're picking Kingdom 5 in agreement with all of the other monarchs. I mean, I think that the game is going to be difficult enough to play as it is without alienating all of the other monarchs against you right from the get-go. I think Kingdom 3 was very, very attractive. But again, we have the arrangement. Bordweall isn't going to break it.
That that's not near as fun as it could have been. But some people were hoping that we would give some excitement, but we're sorry to disappoint. So I think that we'll have plenty of excitement from some of the other servers. But I fully expect that that Kingdom 5 will be our pick. It's not confirmed yet, obviously. We're excited for that. So, but I expect Luna and NA East to, everyone to kind of do what they agreed they were going to do and not rock the boat too much. And which for me, given 2 years ago, that would have sounded so unlikely. With not so much the hostility towards the different kingdoms and the communities, but the tension that was definitely building and was there. I wouldn't have imagined we'd have gotten to this point and still been able to sit in the room and actually work together and negotiate, different factors and what their individual communities were looking for. And that was one of the things that Renegade actually was pointing out, some of the different factors. What were some of the different factors that Renegade, do you think that D was taking into consideration when he was picking Kingdom 5?
Well, I mean, if you really go back to it, the original whole concept, you had the consideration for what kingdom was picked was more the consideration for what map was picked, and they were kind of the same factors. So it was things like coastline and border length and size and biomes, what the people in the kingdom wanted, because there was a whole server kingdom-wide survey for hey, what do you guys want? Let's see. And so it was all that stuff taken into consideration, and then a lot of math. There's a lot of math involved. And
then we settled with map N. So
we did settle with map N.
That's D. Or how close are we to that drunken conversation we're going to have with you, to where you spill all the shenanigans on how all this process has taken place over the years? Are we getting close to that yet? We've been teased with that by you.
I don't remember anything about any conversation.
Well,
the closer we get to it, the more I think, is this good stuff to kind of put out in the public domain or not? It's do we want to kind of really show what goes on in the back channels versus what goes on in the front channels? I don't know. We'll see.
We'll get a little closer to exposition. We'll talk about it again, but that's definitely something we should do. Once you
submit your kingdom and they approve it, you totally should just tell us all the things.
Yes, all the things. We want to know all
in
the
about
things.
10 minutes.
I want to know how we ended up with map in and all the shenanigans you pulled to get us to map in, and I want to know how our community and Vornair and Alicia, all came to an agreement at the end of the day that N was the best one for us. I want to know who really got shafted on that deal. I don't think anybody did. I think our entire server was kind of happy in a large majority with what we ended up with. But interested to hear your shenanigans in either case. So.
Yeah, well, one of those nights, like when we did it on movie night, right? I had a few too many beers and spilled a little bit more information than I typically should have. But yeah, well, close to Expo. You're right. We'll definitely go into it because none of it will matter then anyway.
Well, speaking of sharing information that we probably shouldn't, the Monarchs were given information to help aid them in their selection, because I'm not going to sit here and paint a pretty picture when there's nothing there. Domain and settlement selection has had some bumps. It hasn't rolled out smoothly, and so we don't have the maps yet. We're not getting them until next week, but it's still going according to schedule. It's still released on time, but you guys didn't get the benefit of the full map, which in your case is probably a good thing, because I heard your computer blew up on you.
Yep. My main tower went down around about 10 days ago, and we ordered up a motherboard for that, and that came in, but apparently it's not compatible with the CPU that was on the original motherboard. And I was kind of like, yeah, it's okay. I'll pull out literally what I had was a 12-year-old antique laptop that I think had Windows XP or something on it. I don't know. And it was kind of working for the week, but you'd move the mouse and the screen would freeze for 30 seconds till you could move the mouse again. But it was doable. We did the last live stream using it, and then literally last night that crapped out as well. And I'm like, oh my god, are you kidding me? And it's been we have another computer that should be arriving here. I think it should be here Friday or over this coming weekend. So we'll be able to, do all of the graphics and everything that we were looking at doing with our counts in Blood Oak, so that we can do the exercises and show, figure out where each count is going to be placing, etc. But it's been a very difficult kind of week for me, because I don't use the phone normally. We were laughing earlier, in the pre-show that, and I'm not exaggerating, I might send one text a month. If I send 12 texts a year, I might actually be over the actual number that I send. I don't use the phone other than the occasional phone call kind of thing. Everything I do is on the computer. So all my files, all my images, all my data, all of the documents and everything like that were on the main computer, and I could kind of like wing it a little bit with the laptop, but with the laptop gone as well, I'm just on the phone. And it was like, I think it was like 3:30 a.m. this morning. My back was flaring up, and I woke up. I couldn't get back to sleep. So I got on the phone, and I'm trying to get caught up on the Discord messages, and my phone froze. And I'm just like, fuck. It's like, now I'm not even going to be able to select the fucking kingdom. And it was like, but thankfully the phone was able to reboot, and we're back on track. We're going to have a computer here to be able to do the graphics. So these are kind of challenges that you just have to kind of like chuckle at and figure out how to solve and move on,
Yeah. So, we're for the first time, SBS's little slip up. And like I said, it wasn't a major issue, because we're still on schedule. The Monarchs just didn't get the full experience, which you'll get next week when you guys pick your duchy. What is it? Your county and your settlement.
Counties and our settlements. Yeah. Basically, for the most part, what has happened doesn't affect the majority of players. Period. I mean,
tell you when you would get to pick your county and settlement. Like, do you get a slot there?
Well, what will happen is we can pretty much pick the kingdoms and the duchies without having to have, that kind of like that fine amount of data and everything, because we pretty much know, what the biomes and what the tribes are within each duchy, etc. So, SBS has had this thing where they needed to change the map, and it was for good reasons. So I want to make that clear. It was for good reasons. And it was basically, the option was put to us, hey guys, as monarchs, do you want to go ahead and still pick without the map, but we'll give you the data and everything? And pretty much, I think it was, I don't know of a monarch that objected to it. We didn't want domain and settlement selection delayed. We can pick our kingdom and our duchy right now. The map is meant to be up right before when the dukes are scheduled to pick. And at that point, we'll be able to finish off picking our county and our settlement. And given that a duke won't be able to obviously pick the duchy that we've already reserved, and he won't be able to place a county in there, we're not kind of like in any jeopardy or anything. We'll have several days to be able to pick our county and our settlement. And, we'll be picking it in the way that it was always originally intended. And the dukes won't be affected because the map will be up and running by then. Likewise for the counts, the barons, the mayors, etc. So it's a little bit of a glitch and a hiccup. It's a bit of a bummer, right? Because it would have been great to be watching this live on a map. Our goal for this stream was actually to have, it's probably just as well we're picking manually, because the goal was to see my screen where I was mousing over the map and making the pick and the selection. But with both of my computers out, that wouldn't have been happening anyway.
Yeah, it robbed us of that.
I appreciate Soulbound Studios accommodating my technical errors here.
It did rob us of that, and it robbed us of planning for an extra week for the counts and the mayors that wanted that little extra week to look at the maps. And so we're talking about the information. They gave you some information. Castman had said, we don't want you to release certain parts of it. Some parts are okay, and that's all real muddy. I don't know. But what I do know is that, one thing that you shared with me, the only thing that you shared with me, this color range chart is phenomenal. And so this is what everyone should have seen on day one anyway. So if they come back and they say, absolutely, you should not have released that, shame on me. We should have seen it Monday anyway. I don't know. It's whatever. So I'm gonna show that, D, if you don't mind, because I think it's amazing, and I think our community will really get hyped about that, and it'll give them some information they can start digging around on right now. So I'm gonna switch to that.
Oh, absolutely.
So on here you can see map in, and in map in you can see we have a color chart on the left. You can see my cursor moving around, but this is it, guys. This is really cool. So what you do is you open up your Photoshop, and I've got my color in my swatches box here. You take your eyedropper and you go anywhere you want on the map. And so we're gonna select the Naren grasslands. I haven't done this yet, but we're gonna do it now.
Doing it live.
Yeah, you'll get a little color here, and that'll give you a red value of 118. After I click here, 117, somewhere in there. So then you look on the chart over here, and you find that range. Is that right, D?
What does it say?
That's sedimentary rock.
Well,
Stone
again,
clay,
I
mineral
can't see the screen,
Yeah.
so you tell me.
You found a mountain.
I don't know. Are we doing this right?
You found, well, if that's the right map, which I think it is.
We didn't
right?
test this, so you guys might want to play around with it. But anyway, you find the values here. You pick on something. Where was that dark one I got? Down here in Drossland. 81, 91, and 65 here. 81, 91, and 65. So that should be Forbes. What is that? Renegade, what is Forbes?
Forb? Oh, Forb is, I just looked it up. It's a hibiscus plant, a flowering hibiscus plant that is not grass.
Oh, okay.
Because that totally means something to anybody.
It's a shrub. It's a shrubbery.
Yeah, so
that's where you go when he sends you on a quest to get his shrubs.
I mean, that's something that's really cool that you guys can go play around with. After the show's over, go back and take your screenshots of that, and play around with that. Let me know what you find out. It'll give you something to do to keep from beating up on SBS for, robbing the monarchs of their full experience. But in our case, it worked out great because D's computer exploded and his laptop exploded and his phone almost melted down. So I have no doubt that's from all the private messages everyone in the kingdom's been sending him, asking if we're really picking in Kingdom 7 or not. But I don't know that you want to cover anything more than that, D, on that information. I just thought that was really cool, and I wanted to give our members a peek at that, because when you showed it to me, I was like, oh, that's the kind of data that we wanted to begin with on day one. So, are you anywhere closer to being able to pick your kingdom?
Still a mystery?
I am not. In fact, I've just messaged Serpentius, and I just checked my... let me just check it again. I just checked my inbox on the forums, on the website, and I'm not seeing any new notification in there. But I'll be pending getting a couple of answers. One of the big things, I don't know if you can show map N on there, is we've been speculating as to whether there is a really, really nice large inlet between the Neran grassland biome and the Torresk woodland savanna. And if it's a really, really nice large inlet, does it actually have islands on that inlet? Because if you look at that image, it almost seems to kind of like that inlet potentially cuts most of the way to Kingdom 4 to the west. And how awesome would it be if there were like a bunch of islands that could, support settlements on those islands, etc. And that obviously for us is of prime importance for. Yeah, we've pretty much picked where we're going to be putting our duchies as well. I don't know if Ren, do you have pictures of that?
Do I have pictures of what? Where you're putting the duchies?
Where we're putting our duchies, yeah.
We do somewhere. I can try and pull those up for you.
It's on my document that you don't want to look at.
Oh, yes, indeed it is. Let me pull that over. And so what's going to happen here is my forehead is going to light up so much that it's going to be like an ultrasound. You're actually going to be able to see my brain. Hang on just a second. Let's work through that. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, there is the duchy placement document that Dee did. The shareable one is down.
Alrighty, so Serpentius is actually asking them right now if that channel exists. They're in a meeting. Again, the devs at Soulbound Studio are burning kind of like it's not late evening yet; it's just early evening. But they're kind of like they are working overtime to try and get everything done for us. I mean, it's
called
a little bit of a
Project
bummer.
Crashing.
It's what?
That is called Project Crashing, where you overwork your resources.
Yep. Well, it's
So this has got older duchies on it. I'm
gonna get rid of that.
Sorry.
I can't deal with that. I'm gonna see if I can dig one up here.
It just shows your shining personality now.
Oh, yes, that's what it is. Absolutely. Let me see.
But can I geek out about the soils for a second, Dee?
Yes, it'd be a great time to talk about soils.
So that chart that Nao showed you for like 30 seconds that you guys have to screen cap and go back and look at, they have listed soil types, and there are a bunch of really weird words that you've probably never heard of. Stuff like entisoil, and epsisoil, hepsisoil, oxysoil, which of course means absolutely nothing to most people. But if you Google it, those are the USDA soil taxidermy classes. And they actually give a lot of information on what's in that soil. So I'm just going to read just one. This is called erdisoil, which is dry soil forming under desert conditions with have fewer than 90 consecutive days of moisture during growing season. And no, I have to scroll over. I'm sorry, I can read. And and non-leaching soil. They include nearly 12% of all soils on Earth. Soil formation is slow and accumulate organic matter is scarce. They may have subsurface zones of cleach or durapan. Many arid soils are well-developed BT horizons, showing clay movements from past periods of great moisture. So just that little snippet from Wiki tells us a huge amount what's in that soil. Excuse me. So it's really exciting because some of them say stuff like soils with aluminum and iron deposit. One of them that's actually not on the list, but part of that grouping is called andisoil, which is volcanic ash soil. So I don't think there's any volcanoes on our continent, which I'm a little bummed about.
The volcanic ass soil? That's all I heard.
Volcanic ash soils.
Oh, no. That's not what I heard.
Exploding butts.
Yes.
That's totally what I meant.
So, I mean, that's actually interesting. And it goes along the same vein of, all the other things that, blacksmithing and actually reaching out to actual blacksmiths and finding and studying and finding out the process of how that's done in real world. And, so, I mean, that's no surprise to us there, but I did put the image back up a little bit longer so that, it gives people a little extra time to screen cap it and all that stuff. But that's exciting. And that's what, we should be putting out there for our community. I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for that or not, but I hope not, because that would be completely asinine. This is what your people want. They want to have something to look at, and so, that'll give you an opportunity to dig around and see what you can find out about our area and let me know, because I'm clearly not talented at doing that. I failed miserably my first time, but I did it for you live here. So
it's just really surprising to me looking at those images that we've had for a month or two, or I don't know how long we've had it. We've had them a really long time, where they've told us the different resource distributions in the images, and those pixels are what did they say? They were 16 by 16 parcel or something like that. I don't remember exactly how big those pixels are in the original image, which is still on the website, but they gave us a really good definition of this resource is found in this location, and they hide stuff in front of us months in advance, and none of us think that they're there, which makes me wonder how much else is already currently available to us that we haven't seen or thought of.
Yeah, I think if I'm not, I could be mistaken on this, but the original images were 2,000 pixels by 2,000 pixels, and I think that each pixel represented 1,024 meters.
Which I can calculate.
1,024. And you should find that 64 divides into that, I think, 16 times.
Yeah, it's a 16 by 16 parcel area.
Exactly.
Yes!
So that is correct.
So I do have the Dutchy map. If we wanted to touch back on that for a minute, I can put that up for us. I'm not sure what it was we were trying to cover there, but we do have it, and it is up now. So what was it we were trying to hit on there?
We were talking about the really cool potential of there being a really big
inlet
water.
Between the barren and forest biomes.
Yes,
water.
But this map is not going to show us that at all. I kind of tried to zoom in a little bit on the default map, and I think we got a better idea on that. There was some talk, and damn it, Renegade, I just gave up, and I closed out your blinding. I give up.
How is this my fault?
And now I need it. Oh, let's not move that there. Oh, yeah. I took that off there. I'm doing terrible at this. All right, so we're back on the Dutchy map, and so are we anticipating any surprises with the changes after all our monarchs are done and the dukes start rolling out? I know there's been some updates since this map was created, in that Ceruleum is now Tenebrae, and Duchy 6 is still an NPC duchy.
Correct.
Duchy 10 is an unnamed duke that we're aware of that hasn't named his community yet, that has been with us for a long, long time. So there's plans for that. But other than that, you see any other changes there?
Is Duchy 12 showing as Truria?
It is.
Okay, good. Yeah, then it's fine. Yeah. Yeah, with Duchy 8, some of Cerulean moved down to Kairos. And the majority of them stayed with us and rebranded themselves as Tenebrae, and actually they've been very, very engaged. It's almost like the sum of them moving down to Kairos was a re-energizing of the community. There's been a lot more engagement, a lot more fun, a lot more chatter on the Kingdom Discord, etc. So it actually turns out to be a good situation for everybody.
Absolutely. So still no word from Serp on you getting that message yet?
No, I have his chat open on my phone here, and
I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to sit here and look pretty.
Yeah, might be several hours till we get a reply.
I don't care. I'm here.
Committed. It's a fundraising activity for having a kingdom one day.
Have any questions been asked in the chat? Because I can't see that, unfortunately. So sorry, guys. My apologies to the viewers. But have there been any questions asked in the chat?
I haven't been keeping up. I've been looking at 14 different screens over here. So I've been seeing it ticking, and they were complaining about my volume at one point, and I got louder. So how the hell is your phone mic better than your desktop mic? Katie does make a valid point, D. Do you have earbuds connected to your phone? Is that the distinguishing factor here? Because it's beautiful. We love hearing your voice now. And we lost D.
I'm Reflective Raptor because I'm just so shiny.
D muted himself on Discord.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he really?
He's cussing us right now.
I mean, that's definitely not our fault if he muted himself.
Katie got him all riled up. So.
Here's a question. Does Blood Oak's distribution of counties meet the picking rule? If not, is 4 prepared to be pushed aside?
Ooh.
That's definitely a question for D, I think.
Does Blood Oak's distribution of counties meet the picking rules? If not, is 4 prepared to be pushed aside?
I think he means duchies.
Duchy 4? I think
he's talking about the 4 duchies being above the picking rule. Because we have always made it very clear that there were 4 Blood Oak duchies.
Well, he's talking about the distribution of counties meet the picking rules. Is that a typo there? Sorry, I meant duchy. So D doesn't... I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, that's not...
That's not your
No,
business.
it's not a green screen. It's a thing. It's a real thing.
So, let's just say... Blood Oak is 4 duchies, and it's going to be 4 duchies because that's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah. No, we're Civil War if you push Ware Stark. I don't think we're planning on pushing Ware Stark. We like Ware Stark.
Yeah, they're nestled in underneath us real good.
I would not want to tolerate the sass and Von Rugen if all of a sudden he wasn't right next to us.
Yeah, I can't really get into details as to how. So,
as you immediately go into details about
a duchy can't be more than 3 duchies. But if you go back and you read That's only for selection. So a duchy can grow to the size of 6 duchies, I believe.
Yeah, Duchy 5 is the
it's
protectorate.
if it's combined later on.
Yeah, Duchy 5 is the protectorate. We'll just say it that way.
Yeah, you can only have 3 duchies on one account. You can have a total of 6 and all call it the same duchy, but you can only have 3 on one account. So there's some fine print in there. You guys have to scroll through our forums and figure all that out. I don't know, but D has an amazing plan in mind, and it's going to work out just fine. What's that?
Somebody made a really good point that we should, instead of choosing the ocean, we should choose space.
Ugh, I'm not a sci-fi guy. I don't want to go up there with y'all.
Get on the ship, Noslam.
I think D's talking somewhere and we're ignoring him. How the
Is
fuck
he?
do I unmute myself? Let me you're not server muted, so let me server mute you and unmute you. Yep, that didn't do shit.
It's on your phone, D. At the very bottom, there's 3 buttons. When you pull the chat back up, there's a mute, there's a headphones, and there's a disconnect. I think the mute's in the middle. Going from memory. I don't know if that's right. I hope it's right.
Or you could just power the whole thing down and then start it back
Yeah,
up
you
again.
can disconnect. And
There we go.
How about that?
Yeah, we got you.
Nailed it.
Fucking phones.
We were left unsupervised. Did we do okay?
Yeah, I got cornered into explaining how the Blood Oak's going to be 4 duchies, and
I could hear you.
I did terrible.
I was raging at you guys for giving away secret plans. And like,
Yeah. No. So, but the rule, just to be clear again, the rule on that is 3 duchies per account. There's only 2. You can only have a max of 2 kingdoms. Period.
Total. Yeah.
Total. Right. So there's some fine print in there. You guys got to go read that and figure it out for yourself. I'm not going to tell you how it's happening, but it's going to happen. We're going to be 4 duchies. Well, a protectorate duchy of Blood Oak and 3 duchies of Blood Oak. 1 will be the Bloodthorn Syndicate. We talked about that on our Blood Oak Duchy live stream, which is airing opposite weeks of the BBC on Thursday, same time, same place. So if you guys want to find out more about that, that's where we are, and that's where we talk about all that stuff. So, D, I didn't give her any top secret plans. I wanted to really bad, but I didn't.
Heck.
I restrained myself.
No, we're all good.
I know nothing.
So, we need some help from the streaming community because we're out of content. It's like 40 minutes in, and we've got nothing.
We're not out of content. Didn't somebody have a question that was asked of me and I couldn't reply to it?
Well, yeah.
Or did you guys answer that?
That was the question Noslam got confused on.
I didn't get confused. I just tripped all over it because I didn't. I didn't want to answer.
You can confuse Noz by putting him in a barrel and telling him it's in the corner.
Yeah. We figured it out.
Do we have a secret tunnel? If we don't, we should when someone makes one.
A secret tunnel.
Secret tunnel! Sorry.
We need a secret tunnel to see Renegade's slippers. That's what we need.
Maybe next time. Like, my feet are way too cold to take them off, and I would, like I said, fall over, and we'd probably get, like, banned for something about feet.
No.
We already have to... Bordwall's already a dirty word on Twitch, so what do you want?
I don't know. It was a dirty word. I was trying to create the title for this Twitch, and the Twitch freaking control panel was saying your title's probably going to get moderated. I took Bordwall out of the title, and all of a sudden that's okay. I put Bordwall back in it. This title's going to be moderated. What? Bordwall is a dirty word, according to Twitch.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the fact that it's called the BBC.
No. I don't think Bordwall was the dirty word. I think it was the fact that I put an apostrophe S on the end of Bordwall. So I don't think the world can handle more than one Bordwall. One is enough. So when I mentioned Bordwalls, it completely flipped the fuck out. How's the? I haven't even read this yet, and I'm reading it live from Borne. That's horrifying. I'm scared. All right, here we go. How is the development of the website Future Media coming? Do you have any input on that, or where do the funds donated to the Patreon go in usage of the kingdom? Risky, he said. D, that is actually a question for you, because you are the caretaker of the Patreon account, and where those funds ultimately go. I have no. I mean, I could look at it if I wanted to, and so could many others that regularly air our guests with us on the BBC. But you control those funds, and you could probably better answer that if you haven't muted yourself again.
I have not muted myself, and it's you can actually see the website right now. It is up and running. It's Bordweall.com, and the running of that particular server, because funny enough, we have picked a server with I've forgotten what it's known as. I'm not good on this technical stuff, guys, so forgive me. But it's a virtual server or something like that. To where we've paid additional funds so that we can't be DDoS'd, unlike another famous website that we all know of that has been under, unfortunately, some DDoS attacks here in the last couple of days. But that runs us, I think, that's about $550 a year. It's so approximately $50 a month of the Patreon, and I think we're getting in, I think, about 110 a month right now. So 55 of that goes to that website. There's small petty things like the actual name of Bordweall.com. There's modules that are on that website. Some of them cost $200 a year to rent out. There's other modules that are just paid for in cash. I think we pay $10 a month for the hosting of the online library. The software for those flip books was $400. It's silly little things like paying an extra $10 a month, I think, for, I don't know whether it's Dropbox or all kinds of things. There's all kind of like little things that we almost like get nickeled and dimed for, to just to kind of like, oh, there's $10 a month for the for the videos that we occasionally produce on the and show here on the stream. We hope to be doing more of. I think Alex paid, and that was out of his pocket, so it doesn't come out of the Patreon account. But it was $240, I think, or $120 for the quiz software that we used back in March for the 35 question quiz or 40 question quiz that we did. So it kind of like, I've probably myself personally spent about $3,000 on just stuff for the website, for the software and everything like that. And it's nice to be able to recoup some of it and for it to help fund kind of like, future projects and expand on them. And hopefully that helps answer your question.
I have no doubt that it doesn't even drop a drop in the bucket for what you've spent. But I'm glad that it's going to a good cause, and it's going to software that we use, not just on the BBC, but kingdom-wide on many different fronts.
No, and it is so appreciated as well. You guys have no idea. I mean, I don't want to make a
Didn't
fuss
think you'd
of
be running a business, did you, when you signed up for this?
It actually is like running a business. In fact, I used to work when I ran in real life. I was the general manager of a company with 200 employees, and I actually put more time into building Bordweall than I did working 10 hours a day at that company. It's kind of like, you could call it a full-time job, except that I enjoy doing this, right? So it's not stressful. I don't have the commute of an hour, each way up to Los Angeles and shit like that I used to have. But it nonetheless is very, very time consuming. So it's, very often, people will see me give my typical top of the morning shout out, and that will happen anywhere between usually 4:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. most mornings, and I'm still getting messages at 10 o'clock at night. And I'm not going to say that it's chock full from that time in the morning till that time at night every single day. In fact, there are some days where there's very, very little to do, but there are other days like when we had map voting, when we had the Searing Plague event, and it was crazy. I mean, it would just get crazy. I mean, it has been now with domain and settlement selection. The amount of messages I get, literally from morning till night, is just nuts. I can keep up with it, but it's like a full-time job. And again, no complaints. I'm retired. Yeah, and we'll maybe monetize that. Maybe this will become my retirement job.
Yeah.
Even when the game does come out, you probably won't have any time to play between all the Discord messages.
But you mentioned the website, D, and we have to shine a light on the interactive map that we're working on. So next week, as we do get the maps and we do get the finer details on what resources are going to be in which areas, that interactive map for our kingdom is going to be populated by those individuals that choose to have their information released publicly. I can't think of why you wouldn't want to. People are going to look at that and want to know where particular resources are in location in relation to where they are. If they're seeking out certain trade goods and are producers that produce a certain quality of a certain item, that's just like a Google map to advertise what you have there. I can't think of why you wouldn't want to do that.
And what we're actually going to be doing so that it's understood, obviously we want to populate Bordweall first and everything, but we're actually going to make that resource available to the entire NAE server, regardless of whether we're at war with another kingdom or not at war with another kingdom. I mean, I wouldn't foresee that happening for at least a year into launch anyway. But I think it's something that will benefit the entire server. So, everybody will be invited to be able to sign up for it, whether they're a merchant and they want to peddle certain goods or display a certain route they do, or whatever the case might be. It's I think it'll be really awesome.
How certain are you that we'll get maps before next Monday when Duke's pick? That's from Twitch.
I'm as certain as every other single other date that SBS has put out. and I'm not trying to be snarky or snippy, but I can't, I'm not sitting in on their meetings and knowing what their production schedule is like,
Your guess is as good as ours.
Yeah.
But you mentioned that you're going to make that resource available to the kingdom. I have to give a nod to Bombastus, one of our ambassadors for COE, and I hope he returns the favor and gives us a nod at some point. But yeah, some of the work that they're doing, I've been a part of it this week. Our stream the other night last night didn't go so well. We had some audio issues, but we didn't have a whole lot to talk about anyway. As domain and settlement selection unfolds, they're working on a joint kingdom effort to put together researchers to gather information similar to what you're talking about with the interactive map on a kingdom-wide level. So if you're interested, interested in a particular resource, I don't think they're going to be able to capture the finite details that you're looking at capturing with our map. But I do think that they're going to get good general information on, resource pockets and just general information on large concentration of resources in certain areas. If you're looking for a large quantity of a certain type of resource, Dutchy XYZ was known at domain and settlement selection to carry a lot of that stuff. So they might be someone to reach out to. And I hope that's their intent there. But they're doing a series of streams. I attempted one last night with them. We didn't get much put out there. But I anticipate they'll get those audio issues straightened out, and I'm excited to see what they put together on a server-wide level. What we're talking about doing on a kingdom level, it's a pretty bold task, and it's going to be excited to see what they pull out of that. So, maybe we can help them with some of the information that we're working on, and maybe we can help them with some of the information we're working on. So that should work out pretty good.
Definitely so.
Renegade, get in here.
What?
I'm
What?
I'm getting dry mouth.
Well, you were going on about it, and somebody asked the question.
Yeah, what we got?
As I zoom out because I can't read. I'm blind as a bat. In case you didn't notice, he's So, are you waiting until maps are released before actually putting down a duchy or county claim? And I think that has more to do with the conversation about how the counties and cities aren't really available, at least for D, until the maps actually become available.
Well, D hasn't even been able to pick a kingdom yet, so.
Yeah, right. No kingdom press. Bordwall's not allowed.
Am I muted again?
No, we're just talking over
Well,
you.
you're being rude.
Yeah, basically.
Yes.
So just like the monarchs on NA East kind of like all agreed, where to place, we had that same kind of agreement with our dukes. And it's not based upon IP for us. It's based upon where they best fit in, for their own particular goals and play styles and what they want to be doing within the kingdom. And so we are committed to the particular duchies that we're going to be taking. And the duchies that we're taking are going to be on that map. It was duchies 3. I think it showed up on that map that you guys had, right?
Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, and 5.
And 5.
Blood Oak.
That's correct. And so within that, obviously, I do have to wait for a map before I pick a county, because I need to know if that inlet has got really nice islands on it that you can stick a settlement on. Yeah, that might be a great place to have kind of like a very defensible port city on that's well inland, so to speak. But if they don't, then I have to look at what are the advantages of either placing on the Torres side of the river to the south or on the Neran grassland side of the river to the north. And
you don't want to just throw a dart at the map?
That's plan B.
Plan B. Airwave Raptor has asked this big, long, drawn-out question like 14 times now. Any word from SERP?
I checked just a little while ago and there wasn't, but I will check right now again for you. Oh, there's something from somebody. Hold on.
It's from Renegade. She said,
"Sorry,
no reply from SERP. Yeah,
I was moving the sword away."
I'm serious, D. I'm gonna stay here all night. Renegade's gonna prop her feet up, and we're gonna finally see those slippers. I have a life, man. I really do, and I don't really care to be here all night. So,
alrighty. Then I will share a little bit more info about Kingdom 5. Now, please understand that these figures are not set in stone. They are basic, kind of like starting figures that the dev team are using to populate the kingdoms with the different tribes. And what I mean by base starting figures is that if every kingdom and every biome and every duchy and everything like that was the same size, this is what they would end up with. But it now starts to vary based upon the amount of resources on that particular kingdom, on that particular server, the size of the biome proportionate to the other biomes in its kingdom, etc., etc. But for our kingdom, for Kingdom 5, you have the Neran have a starting percentage of 37%, which, you should probably read that as being closer. It could be anywhere between 30 to 45%. Again, just depending relative proportions, etc. The Toresk, I was actually surprised by this number, go down to 21%. The Drass are at 32%. We have 6% Werd. We have 1% Crothy, 3% Genoa, and 0% Kipik and 0% Brudveer. So
0% Broodmere? Did I hear that right?
0% Brudveer to start with.
Gotcha.
That doesn't mean that there won't be any. That doesn't mean that we won't be able to populate during Kingdoms of Illyria and Exposition. They say that you're going to be able to seed, the different tribes into your biomes as long as they're, relatively compatible, etc. But that's a fairly, that's the mix that we have. And we were very surprised with, if you look at Kingdom 2, which is one of Adam's kingdoms, one of the Vornair kingdoms, we were very surprised that, and that's the Crothy Nerin kingdom. So it's 36% Crothy, and again, these are starting numbers. 36% Crothy, 23% Nerin, 6% Toresk, 8% Werd, 11% Brudveer, 2% Drass, 3% Genoa, and 11% Kipik. So they actually have,
Genoa up there.
They have as much Genoa up there than we do down south, and we border the Genoa.
I guess that makes sense religiously migration-wise, but
it might be religious migration. Adam had made a comment earlier today that, supposedly the 10-year storyline starts off in Kingdom 2, with Titan's Step and things like that. Yeah. And so it might make sense that there's a larger kind of like a mix of people. And it's like, there's advantages to that and there's disadvantages. Having kind of like, a wide diversity of the tribes, how are they all going to interact with each other? Because we went into a little bit of that, I think, on our last stream, and how picking a tribe, will affect, but at least, yeah, you'll at least know that up in that kingdom, you can pick any tribe and probably find at least some small community of NPCs that will be friendly to you.
Now, we did get some questions while you were going on that spiel, more to Blood Oak's Duchy pick again, D. And so there were some close guesses there, but you guys still don't have it. But very close, very good.
You're not helping.
So I will say that to answer the question that was asked in stream chat, we will be following the guidelines and how the duchies have to touch one another. But those guidelines will be completely followed, but the pick orders you guys picked were horrible. You got to do better than that. So I heard rumor while you were talking also, D, that Serpentius was chatting in the COE Discord. I don't have the bandwidth or the monitors to monitor everything that's going on in COE at the moment. But I can't confirm nor deny that. So at least he's active, and hopefully he'll get to you soon.
Well, I think he responded to me very, very quickly. But the dev team themselves are in a meeting. So he has forwarded that information to them while they're in the meeting, but the information hasn't come back out of the meeting yet. So, Serpa's done what Serp's supposed to do. And, if the guys are busy in a meeting, that's, to me, that's understandable as well. Obviously, I'd like to know that right now and share that with you guys right now. But if you can't, that's sometimes that happens.
We're over an hour, and I'm young, and I'm good. I mean, I don't know about you, D, but I'm not getting any older here, so I'm feeling good, right?
That 0% brood fear makes me think that, like, day one, not expo, but like actual day one, there is going to be a migration of Broodveer players down. They're like, I want to play in this kingdom, but I want to play Broodveer, and I didn't have access to KOE, and I didn't have access to Expo. And just like any other like large-scale MMO, just the migration of players early on in the game is just going to be ridiculous.
I think it's going to be very large. Yeah, absolutely.
And for the people who have been there for Expo, it's just going to be like, hold on to your britches and just watch the storm of people just go every which way.
We've been talking and speculating about whether we should try and rent out all the boats that people bought, during the...
They'll never come back.
During the promotion, all the warships and the coastal cutters and everything.
And you could.
It'll be like Dunkirk, and saving all of our members that have picked Broodveer or Crothy and picking them up off the beaches of Kingdom 1 and 2, as they try and make their escape.
I mean, honestly, we could do, like, in the Expo, you could, because it's 3 months, we could have caravans, like, Kingdom Pickup, meet here. That would be something even, like, across all 5 of the kingdoms we could do, like, kingdom transfers, and we could organize that and post it publicly, so the people who get in on day 1 and don't have the ability to do KOE, they can actually get where they want to go, because I imagine there'll be a lot of people.
And that's another thing that this server has established between all the kings, as far as I'm aware of, D, that no one is going to hinder anyone from seeding different tribes in their land during KOE. So no one's going to try and prevent that. And to me, that's just further sign of willingness to cooperate for the community of COE, or for Luna as a whole, which is I'm super excited about it. I'm tickled to death that we got to this point where we can actually work together, and get shit done.
Yep. And can I please ask people to not be messaging Serpentius or telling him to reach me?
I wasn't going to say nothing.
The whole world is tagging me that you're trying to reach me. I just made it clear that I'm in contact with Serpentius, and the holdup isn't with Serpentius. The devs are in a meeting, and apparently he says, I'm getting inundated with messages, so cut it out.
Dragon loves him and appreciates him.
Yep.
We did not say message with Serpentius live on stream.
I might have
didn't
said
say
that in the chat. I didn't voice it, but I did say it in the chat. I didn't say it PM. I said in the comment. My bad.
I haven't had a reason to message Serp in a while, but I think I have just cause now.
I didn't do it.
All right. So what else do we got, D? We're well past the hour mark. Throw me a bone, man. What are we going to talk about that you won't get in any more trouble for?
I don't know. I think we're good. I'm actually messaging Serp right now. So hold on.
Just letting common room know that S.
Yeah, we got nothing.
Nailed it.
And so for us doing this here, you have to understand how painful it is for us to have dead air. But we have been dragged. I only wanted to do this shit for 20 minutes tonight. I wanted D to come in and be like, boom, we're done. I'm like, y'all peace out, bitches, we're done. But that didn't happen. So here we are. We're going to rely on the community to give us some more questions that are not related to how Blood Oak is picking its 4 duchies. And hopefully we can get through this and get a response from SBS in the next couple of minutes.
I'm actually really hoping we don't have the experience like in other MMOs early game where players migrated of like just more experienced players, just because like I know Kingdom wide they said they wouldn't do that, but I know some players, other MMOs have been like that, and I really hope we can avoid that.
Random economic question, D. If the game developers add a level of detail to custom container sizes, will you be instituting a national standard of weights and measures? I'll just go ahead and say one of my constituents recently proposed a kingdom law, and anything that's nationalized on a kingdom level is was he got a little opposition there, but I was glad to see the conversation take place. It was interesting to hear for sure.
Yeah, I think weights and measures, though, are a little bit different than what was being proposed.
Oh, definitely. I think he was just dropping a bomb in there to get everybody fucking riled up, and it worked beautifully.
Oh, it was great. That was one of the things that I was reading at 3:30 a.m. this morning, you know?
Yeah.
But Serpentius just replied. He said, you know, he's still waiting on a reply, so don't message him, guys, please. He'll get a reply to me as soon as he hears it.
Is there like a formalized way you have to submit the kingdom, or is it just like tell Serp like this is the one I want? Like
we just basically PM and any questions that we have and everything like that. We, you know, the monarch that is up, they've asked that we do not, you know, pester them before our window is up, open. Otherwise, they'll be getting too many questions all at once. But yeah, no, they've made it clear that, hey, you know, sorry guys that you're not able to pick the map. We're here for you. You know, you can message us basically, you know, almost like 24/7. Once your window is open with any questions, we'll try to get the replies to you as quick as possible. But as I say, on a kingdom level, you pretty much don't need that fine detail. You don't need to know where a freaking cave is to pick your kingdom, you know?
I want to know where the cave is.
Well, if you're picking a county, right, and there's a county with 12 caves and there's a county with no caves, you might want to go you know, you might want to go with the one that's got 12 counties, 12 caves kind of thing. But, you know, again, on a kingdom level, you don't need that.
So the flavor text that Caspian is using to announce the different monarchs picks, do you have any say in that whatsoever? Asking us.
You know what? I don't know. I was under the impression that that maybe the monarchs had put that through. So we'll work on ours when I make my final when I make my selection official with SBS. We'll probably work on that tonight or tomorrow morning.
So we're switching servers then, right?
Yeah.
Is that how I understood it?
Yeah, we're going west, and we're bumping
go
the
west.
sixth. We're bumping the sixth pick off of west back to east. That's what we're doing, right?
Yeah, we bumped Azeron back to NA East.
Enjoy, Luna. Have fun. We love Azeron. He's great. Said no one ever.
So is anybody else going to read a lot about dirt today?
Dirt? Look, we
all
can't
the soil types.
We can't. I love Morbus and I love the Town Crier. I watch it every chance I get when they do it lately. But he was talking about Disney princesses yesterday during his Domain and Settlement. We can't just start talking about random shit, Renegade. That's
no, the dirt's relevant. The dirt is relevant.
Oh, the dirt. Oh, I thought you were talking about like some movie or something. I didn't know what the hell you were talking about.
I was like, or like dirt as in gossip, but
oh no, I just had to
soil.
I had to capitalize on an opportunity to stab Morbus. That's what that was.
To talk about Disney princess.
Yeah. I'm not. We're not going down that road. So you're talking about the dirt, and yeah, let's go back to this. Fuck it. I mean, we've already showed it, and I think it's really cool, and it gives me an opportunity to debate. So. You were wanting to talk about some of the different soil types, and you said you knew where they got these names from, but
yeah, because who would have it? It's really weird. Like you read these, and it's like I've never seen these words before in my life, and you Google it, and there's only one reference to these words anywhere, and it's soil taxonomy. Because they just went straight for the science of it. And, like, they don't have all of them in there, though. They definitely are missing a couple. And the fact that they have some of these, like, wetwoods has 4 different soil types in it, which I'm not sure if that means there's all 4 of those present, or just one of those present, but in different areas there would be any of those. Like one in this area has one, and this area has another, and this area has a third. And like across the board, like they've also given, so they give the soil type, but then they also give, I guess, the composition, which, you know, moss and lichen is not necessarily the soil type, but does have an impact. And you know what? Looking at their ecological resources, I don't see like wood, which I think was one of the ones that they talked about being available. But they do have high ground listed, so if you can find...
There's wood in the wet woods.
Entosoil. Oh, there is. Entosoil. Apparently you can find the high ground. That again.
So either wood is extremely rare, or the wet woods is kind of all over the place. And D is obviously in a fucking wind turbine or something. I don't know. Hello, D?
No, I'm here.
Yeah, you're in a tornado.
Well, I'm just taking advantage. It's windy up here in the mountains, and I was just taking advantage while you guys were flapping your gums to have a quick smoke out on the balcony.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
If you get the rain to go away, I'd be smoking too. I'd have my hookah, and we could all just smoke on stream. Mm-hmm.
So what are our plans for character families? Will you be opening the family for new players down the line, or keep it strictly NPC or friends only? I like to keep it.
Oh, that's a cool question.
Yeah.
I'm
from
sure.
Alabama. I don't discriminate about people who want to keep it in the family.
I already have people in my friend group who run my family name all the time, and it's like, okay. Didn't have any say in that. So I figure I won't have any say in it either. And see how
I think on the royal family level, I have to be at least somewhat selective, or else we're gonna wake up dead one morning, and you know the guy who was like 112th in line for being the heir to the kingdom all of a sudden is the only sole survivor. You know,
like, there's a fire in the capital. What happened? I don't know, but everybody but the one dude died. Now he's king.
Exactly.
Apparently, I forgot to mute myself before I went vaping again. This show is going to hell in a handbasket. But somebody asked who my favorite Disney princess was, and I'm not going there. I don't give a shit. You know, I'm not answering that question. But I immediately thought, and I don't know why, Mel Bluebell. And that's not
She's
really
a Disney princess.
I mean, she should be. I mean, Mel's good people. So we haven't had Mel on the stream for a while. And I think she's in chat, and maybe she's listening because
she was in chat.
Yeah, she's poking around in Discord. I know that, but she is. I'm not getting into her personal business because that girl, she's wild. She's out there, but I'm kidding. God damn. No, she's moved. So I do look tired because I'm exhausted.
That's a Doctor Who reference.
Domain and settlement selection has completely worn this puppy out. But Mel recently moved, and so she's still in the process of getting settled in and all that good stuff. So I anticipate she'll be back. I hope so, because we need our blue, which was Renegade last week, or blue glowing goddess.
I fixed it, I think.
You think? Yeah, now you're orange glowing. Which
now I'm orange.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah. So, but you'll have to tell Mel that trick you learned to get the blue glow off your face.
And I'm going to change the color every week. It'll just, like, next week it'll be green.
But yeah, she's moving. She's in the process of moving. I'm not saying where, but she's not here, obviously, in New Orleans anymore. She's moving on to bigger and better things, which is sad because, you know, me and Mel got to be really good friends. Did some Mardi Gras balls together, and went and had sushi, you know, with my wife, and she's just good people. So wish her all the best, and hope she's back soon.
Oh, I got something.
You guys went to PAX West together as well, didn't you?
We did, yeah. We went to PAX West. We had, you know, a few people there. One of my counts in the Protectorate, Petraeus, and his family met his wife. So yeah.
Oh, and the other question was Gen Con. Is that still coming up, or did that happen already?
Yeah, no, Gen Con's in August. You guys should all go. You should hang out with me and LARP, play Magic the Gathering.
We do have a list, I think, being prepared of people for a meetup there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be in Bordweall, for that meetup if you're, or even on the Lunar server if you're on any of the servers and going to that Gen Con. Get in touch with us. We'll hook you up with I'm not quite sure how large the group is that's meeting, but it's growing. It's growing fairly well, I think.
I don't know how.
Yeah.
But I had it one day.
I don't.
It's exciting though. Come play board games with me.
Twitch
Who would not want to play board games?
Twitch is saying I have a foot fetish. I don't. Okay,
that's what we're trying to portray on this stream.
A little bit. So I just mentioned my wife. Fuck, we're doing what the town crier did. We're just talking about garbage. But no, this is relevant because Twitch is talking about it, right? So, so I picked out all her shoes, and she's got like 4,000 pair. And there's a reason for that, because when we go to the mall, I go straight into the, I go straight into the shoes, and I find the clearance rack, and I find a pair that look kind of slutty, and I'm like, hey, these are half off. And she's like, oh, really? Those are so cute. And they're really half off. And I'm like, yeah. And then boom, done. We're out in like 15 minutes. Whereas I would have spent 2 hours in there looking at every aisle and every rack. So there's a reason behind it. I don't really have a foot fetish. It just seems that way.
Does she know that that's your process?
Yeah, she does. We've been married for 10 years. She's got it all figured out. She don't care. She's just like, hey, those are cute.
My husband buys all my dresses too, so I get it. Shopping's hard.
So, no surprises, D. You're going to pick Kingdom 5. And so I don't anticipate that the Luna server is really going to have any surprises at all. I anticipate that everybody's going to pick what they've said they're going to pick. And so we're just going to have to, grab a box of popcorn and watch the other servers that we haven't really cared about until now, because they're going to be fun to watch.
It's just bad business to pick something different than what you said you would.
Yeah, nobody wants to be that person.
Yeah, because of the pick order, I know that Elise, Tharad picks after me, and they want Kingdom 6, so nobody's going to prevent them from getting what they want. And Alicia picks after Tharad, and they want Kingdom 3, so nobody's going to prevent them. And Fortuna is going to have, Kingdom 4, which is, again, what everybody had agreed upon. So it's, apologies if there isn't drama over that, but I think there's going to be enough drama and politics that go on in the back channels if the first 2-3 years of this game were anything to go by. There's no lack of drama. It just wasn't present for the actual Kingdom picking.
I've said it. I'll say it again. The fact that we have nothing to report is something to report, because I would have never anticipated that we'd have gotten to this point where we could mutually agree on. I mean, for the Monarchs, there wasn't a need for selection. I mean, you guys had it all freaking. And I know you probably didn't trust that 100% fully. But we're getting messages in Discord. I'm sure you guys didn't trust that each one 100% would actually do what they said they were going to do, but it seems to be playing out that way. But we know at least the first 3 are going to go according to plan.
We at least here in Bordweall, we had contingency plans, because it was very possible that another Monarch might beat us on IP. When you look at NA West, I had 214,000 IP, and that put us into kind of like the second place pick, right? On NA West, I think Edward Bishop had in excess of 200,000 IP, which is the equivalent of $20,000, and pretty much where where Bordweall is sitting, and he's picking last on NA West. So, there's been a lot of movement and jockeying for position at the last moment, or at least, without other people knowing. Maybe the jockeying was done a couple of months ago, but I think there were quite a number of surprises on NA West as to the actual ranking of who was picking first and who was picking last, kind of thing.
I don't think anyone anticipated Blackheart being so far down the list either.
No.
And so I think most people would agree that Aranor, I'm putting my hoverboard away. No, you're not. You're getting out of here. All right, whatever. You're halfway in now. Go. Jesus Christ. Well, my kids are not used to me going on stream this long. We just got to roll with it, okay? But no one really was shocked at Aranor's pick of Kingdom 1 on West today. But I think that Ashland is picking next, and I still think that's up in the air. I think it could be K2 or K3.
Still?
Yeah, I don't think they're completely locked in yet. I think Valria could be K2. It's or 4. It's still kind of up in the air. I don't think they're completely locked in. I think that some, and I may get in trouble here because I may be giving away other people's content, but there's some Dukes.
It's ours now.
We're struggling here. We don't give a shit. Plagiarizing people's shit. But yeah, there's, the Dukes, some of the Dukes over there aren't necessarily aligned to a kingdom. I've heard talk of that. They're more tribe centric or biome centric, not necessarily kingdom centric. So they don't, hey, we don't give a shit. If you pick this kingdom, we're going to come in and we're going to do, what we want.
Well, it's hard to pick your kingdom when your kingdom doesn't know where it's going to be.
Yeah. So,
and I know those groups have some animosity.
So that's going to be fun to watch for sure. So Luna's not going to give us that fun factor.
Do we have a lot of floating Dukes in Luna?
Have a couple.
Yeah, we have a few, but not many, I think,
Yeah.
I mean, you can actually count all the Dukes, so it's not counts and mayors and barons and stuff where there's thousands of them.
We have some that have said they floated west that may end up floating back east just to play games. I don't know.
Didn't commit?
Yes, no. But if they didn't commit, they won't be placing until after the Dukes that did commit place. So no. So here's what happens. They said they committed to west when in fact they committed to east, and they still haven't come out yet, and they ain't said nothing. And then boom, they show up on your door. Don't count it out. Don't count it out. And that's why I get paid the big bucks, because I think of the dumb shit. Nobody else thinks about it.
Dumb shit thinker.
Yes. D made fun of me earlier. Put me in the corner in a tin can or some shit. I don't know. Some stupid comment. But I think of the dumb shit. And that's...
Round, square, peg hole?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So don't count it out. That is a distinct possibility. That is something that we could see.
Oh, yeah. That is a good comment. Fortuna will be pretty much open for Dukes. I don't know if he actually has any, formally allied Dukes. I know he has a couple formally allied, counts. But I don't think Duke...
No, I think he has a couple of Dukes. As well, but we'll see.
I think Fortuna's going to have
we're going to live here.
I think Fortuna's going to have a lot that we didn't anticipate they have. So we'll see. That's going to be I mean, we've known that all along. That's going to be the unknown for Luna is, what's actually in Blah. And, a lot of people say there's nothing there. And that may be true. And if it is, I'm sure D can appreciate the fact that Blah hasn't had all of us screaming in his ear, I'm sure D doesn't blame the man for not wanting to recruit an entire kingdom full of people and deal with all the headaches. So there's some merit there as well. But I think he's got stuff up his sleeve, and I'm looking more and more tired. I see myself now. It's terrible.
Now that we're on the topic of other kingdoms, like we could talk about Alessia, like that whole placement schema, because you have a bunch of nobles that can't place anywhere but Alessia, and then you have some people who might place into Alessia where they didn't have to. I wonder, were there anybody who said they were going to place into Alessia, like Duke level, that didn't have to?
No, I think all of their duchies are spoken for.
Really?
And because they're all spoken for, Alessia has kind of like the unique situation where they basically what am I trying to say? They have 6 dukes that became dukes from the Free Kingdom event, and because they have to place in Alesia, Verlaine was able to kind of like, reserve six other slots so nobody else can place all of the duchy slots. You're not going to get a rogue duke placing in Alessia, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Yeah, that makes
They
sense.
on lockdown.
Yep.
So
they're locked down.
6 dukes chose to place into Alessia and got those reserved slots. The other 6 are the Free Kingdom.
Correct.
Is that really how it's going to work? Like, there's no ability for a high IP rogue duke to place into there?
No, because he reserved all the open spots.
He reserved the slots that weren't the Free Kingdom ones. So a Free Kingdom duke can't get bumped out because functionally all 12 are reserved. Wow.
Yes.
That's cool. Neat.
It's actually a very cool thing for them. They're the only kingdom that that kind of like, is 100% guaranteed to know where they're placing, where their dukes are placing.
Oh, wow. And they even, that's a really cool picture. I've never seen that before.
You're
I don't
not
really
the
pay
only one
attention
that
to
has good images, Renegade. I have some
I don't
too.
pay attention to things outside the kingdom. Anytime I go out there, people yell at me. So I just come back and throw a cookie at people. It's my deal.
All right, I'm done vaping now. So we put up an image of the Kingdom of Alesia D and how their duchies are laid out. And they're all completely filled in. There is no mystery. There's, like you mentioned, there's no surprises there. They all know who's going to, there's no unless. That's the point, right? They get what they get.
You know what? It's possible that one of their reserve dukes don't place into Alessia.
Oh, like maybe he just doesn't show up?
Like he goes somewhere else, because just because you're reserved doesn't mean you have to place where you're reserved.
No, but that slot would still be reserved if I'm making sense.
It would probably until that person was placed somewhere else, right? Because otherwise we're going to have slots that are locked and nobody can access them forever.
Yep.
Looking for discrepancies in Alesia's duchy and their dukes is not is not going to be very fruitful.
No, I wasn't. It was just theory crafting, conspiracies, and whatnot.
Nah, there's nothing there. I think they're going to be good. So D, we are twice our normal time. We normally allot for 45 minutes. We're exactly an hour and a half. I said I was going to stay all night. That was a lie. You said you were going to pick in the ocean. We know that was a lie.
Let's go to space.
We're not going to space either. Caspian is out of his meeting now. Any year now, D will get a pick. Woohoo!
Soon TM.
That is breaking news. Something I might stick around for. And we picked the moon, according to Katie.
Well, yeah, I just want to make clear that just because Caspian's in Discord doesn't mean we get a reply to our question right away.
So how does that work for the rest of us? We have a stream here. We're anticipating your pick, and your timer ran out a fucking hour ago. and you're still not getting a pick.
So
What
my
does,
my timer started an hour ago. I
Yes.
still have 23 hours.
Yes, so it started, and it's not gonna impact anyone else because you're still on the silly system. Got it. So, meh. Never mind. I was going somewhere with that, but it's completely irrelevant.
Circle.
Yes. So, how does this affect the confidence of other people when their timer ticks up and they can't? Well, they're not picking the same way as you. I forgot. 'Cause you're special.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not a worry.
So that's nothing newsworthy.
I'll have the reply in the next 20 hours, but I don't want to be sitting here on the stream. No disrespect to our viewers, but I don't want to be sitting on the stream for another 20 hours.
Well, we can confirm that Bordweall is picking number 5. There's not going to be any surprises. We're not picking 7. We're not picking 3. We're not picking the ocean. Someone said we're going to pick 3 and declare war on Vornair immediately. That's not happening.
That's one of the most stupid misconceptions out there.
Well, and so Vornair to us is our fiercest competitor. And this is a game, and we are competing against Vornair. That doesn't make them our enemy. You can have a competitor that is not an enemy. They're just a competitor.
They make them a rival.
Yeah.
They're a rival.
People can't grasp the concept of sportsmanship and competitiveness. Like if you're competing against someone, they have to be your arch rival enemy. No, they don't. Like, come on, put on your big boy pants. We're competitors. We're not going to war with one another. We don't have ill blood towards one another. We've been playing the Dance of Dynasties, and and we don't always like the way things go down. But at the end of the day, we're playing the game. So. Are we still waiting?
That's up to you guys.
Yeah, like I said, we might find out in 5 minutes. We might not find out till tomorrow morning. So
next time we pick a kingdom, let's put Caspian on the stream with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they just they completely wanted to ruin our plans. Is what it was.
Yeah. We should plan for the unexpected.
What's great about anything that SBS does, they could have done it better. Which, I mean, that's true. That's true.
They could have done it worse,
with
too.
All of us in everything we do, there's always room for improvement. But I swear to God, every time Caspian or SBS does anything, and I've not been very quiet about, my discontent.
No, but I don't, yeah.
But it's just ridiculous the amount of, frustration people feel they need to voice for every single thing they do. I mean, you're expecting perfection at every turn, and it's on time. What more do you want? I mean, knock it off. Anyway, that's all I got on that. So, D, I'll let you have the floor for about the next 5 minutes, as if I have any say in whether or not you take the floor or not, and let you close us out. I've got 5 minutes left of me, and I'm going to bed. So I'm not staying here all night.
I'm not sure. Were there any other unanswered questions?
Ask Noslin before he leaves. What? What's the question?
They asked me my favorite tribe.
Me, my favorite tribe? What are your favorite tribes and why? My favorite tribes are Naren because they're just boring and plain, and they don't have funky teeth. But I don't really have a choice in the matter. I'm playing Torres. So I don't like to talk about tribes a whole lot because I like to have some mystery when I get into the game. I haven't even done a whole lot of studying up on the Torres. I just know they have funky teeth. That's all I know. They seem like they're pretty cool, kind of stocky a little bit. I don't know. Maybe they're short. I don't know.
They're fancy orcs.
My goal as a noble is to breed with other Narens that are in my domain and eventually become a Naren myself. That's my goal.
All right, eugenics for Naslam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be viewed as a bad person by the Knights. No, I won't. I don't give a shit what people view me as. I've been a part of this community for too long. As a SBS Supermod for 2 years, I have the right to say whatever the hell I want. And I'm not going to dog these guys. I'm still passionately supporting the efforts that they're putting forward, the initiative. It's a very daunting project. They're still doing things groundbreaking, supposedly, that no one else has ever done. I subscribe 100% to their vision. I don't always agree with their PR, but Caspian wants to be transparent with everything, and I disagree with that. I agree with some transparency, but some things should be left in the kitchen, as he always says. Because making the sausages isn't always pretty. We don't need to see all that shit.
I think a lot of people have never seen it before.
Yeah,
so.
we don't need to see all that shit. But I do, enjoy, seeing him and getting all the information drops that we get. But some of the shit we just don't need to see. That's my biggest argument. So, but that's neither here nor there. Let's get it on, dude.
You were gonna let Deke close the stream.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
No,
fall asleep.
What happened there?
I think that we are done. Thank you, everybody, for being here. As I say, it was a bit of a bummer that we couldn't actually have the map and go over it and everything like that. But shit happens, and we'll probably be going over that on our stream in 2 weeks' time. I should have a computer that's back up and running, and the map should be up and running, and we'll go over it and see what shenanigans, and maybe there were some rogue dukes placed here or there, or rogue counts, and we'll go from there, guys. Thank you all for being here, and we'll catch you in 2 weeks' time.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Holy